Yeah, definitely. You don't give her another chance. I mean,
No.
But he wants his money back. He's like, I'm going to take it back to the pawn shop.
But it was supposed to be cheap.
Yeah, but...
I would eat $30 to teach someone a lesson.
Yes, but he bought that before he lost his job, no?
I guess.
Right, he's been crying in the kitchen. He needs the money back. He needs everything.
You can't feed wood to your children. Or can you?
Oh, you dress it up a little bit of hamburger helper. Oh. So Mr. Wood is put into the closet. No lock on it, though, but put into the closet, and he's going to be taken back to the pawn shop in the next few days.
Yeah, because it's closed on Saturday.
Seems like a good day for a pawn shop to be open.
A simpler time, Matthew.
Yeah, everybody had lives. Didn't have to work. In the night, though, Mr. Wood gets out of the closet, runs into the hall. Chris chases him. Yeah. And Mr. Wood threatens to throw her down the stairs. It's like, you're my slave. Leave me be or I'll throw you down the stairs.
Yeah, this was problematic for me.
Yeah, she tackles him. They wrestle for a bit. He says he's in charge now. Punches her in the stomach.
Yeah.
Lindy comes out of the bedroom, and now we know it's Mr. Wood here. He is the one running around. Now. Lindy's not doing this. So Lindy comes out. Together they pin down Mr. Wood, get the parents. When the parents come out, Mr. Wood lies limp, obviously. Everything I say sounds horrible.
Yep.
And the father says, I think you've lost your mind. I'm very worried about you.
No, that is like, she's lost her mind. It's like, well, then take her to a fucking hospital if you're not concerned. Like, my God.
I'm very worried about you, but I'm going back to bed.
Yeah, I've got wine and Gerald's game to finish.
Yes.
Take me to the bed, Herbert.
Jesus.
What's the father's name? I don't remember.
I don't know. This is the chain me to the bed part. Not the Herbert part.
Oh.
After the parents go back to bed, though, Mr. Wood tries running off again. And so they try a few different things to subdue him. They try reading the words again, but they are not the words to put him to sleep. They are the words to bring him to life.
Yeah.
They try pulling his head off.
Yeah, it was just like, hey, let's murder this fucker.
Yeah. It's like, well, I can't pull his head. It's like, cut it off. We'll get the really sharp scissors.
Let's fucking murder this thing.
Yeah, and
fucking Leopold and Loeb right there.
It's got to be. They're trying to kill a little living thing right now. It's scary, but he's also he's claiming ownership over their souls. So it's a justifiable, I think, justifiable murder. The scissors don't work either. Pulling the head off doesn't work. He's magic. He keeps saying that he has powers. He's like,
believe in magic. Oh.
Well, they do now, I'm sure. But he keeps saying he has powers. But he didn't never specify what the powers are. Power. Yeah, he's like, you'll be sorry.
There's a Star Wars reference.
Yeah, right. You'll be sorry, he says.
When you least expected it.
I have powers. You keep talking about these powers, Mr. Wood, but I haven't seen them. You haven't displayed them. You haven't shown me anything to make me think you've got powers. Other than being a living dummy. Sure.
I mean, if you put that aside, then he's just a fucking piece of wood.
Now they're up in the bedroom, I think, at this point. They're trying to think of a way to destroy him.
Yeah.
And he says, you have no need to think. You are my slaves. And then he says that if they don't listen to him, he's going to start hurting their loved ones. Their parents, their friends. Maybe he'll start with that disgusting dog that's always yapping at him. And I guess that's where the threat is. Because, I mean, they seem pretty capable to handle him. But I feel like Mr. Wood would do some damage to at least the dog.
Oh, yeah. He would.
I mean, that's the reason the dog in this book is so small. Barky.
Barky.
I thought his name was Barkley, and I thought it was an original name.
I play basketball.
Sure.
Oh, come on. That's not that old of a reference.
It's not.
People know who Charles Barkley is.
The girls decide to put him in an old suitcase. Mr. Wood, he begins to run away, but then he stops. He says, I will not run from you. You are my slaves. It's demeaning. Yeah. And your whole trying to kill me thing, it's getting really tiring.
Your whole shtick is old.
Yeah. But he's got a lot of confidence for such a little dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta make up for being little in a few ways. You gotta be confident.
Yeah. You gotta act big to be big.
Or just go visit a Zoltar machine.
Sure. Whatever that reference means.
Big.
Okay.
Tom Hanks.
Oh, yeah, the one where he's dancing on a keyboard.
Yes. Fuck.
Didn't matter how big he got. Still had AIDS. Where are you going? Come back, we gotta finish. All right, thank you for joining me again, Nick.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Weeks have gone by.
Weeks.
So he's growing very tired of their attempts to kill him. He says that they will pay for this, and now someone will have to die. But they just grab him, put him in the suitcase, and bury him deep in a hole.
It's like Nik at the end of The Man with the Golden Gun. Nik is the tiny assassin assistant, and it's just like Roger Moore's just like, come here, you little bastard, and like puts him in a suitcase.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is like that.
You didn't see that one.
Not at all, no.
No.
But they do that to Mr. Wood, and then put him in a hole that's out by the construction site. Him real deep.
Yeah, it's not going to help, guys.
Well,
you know what you should use?
What?
Fucking wood chipper.
Oh, that is probably the best way, but
Fargo hadn't come out yet, so no one knew that you could dispose of bodies with wood chippers then.
But people knew you could dispose of wood with a wood chipper, I think.
Maybe. Debatable.
They sleep pretty easy after that, Nick. The next morning, though, Mr. Wood is sitting in the kitchen table, dirty as all heck.
Hey.
Yeah, and staring up at Chris. Oof. It's not going well.
No.
Something like you've angered him. Now, the parents have to leave. They got some errands to run.
Find a job.
Yeah. Go to the unemployment office. The parents always seemed like they had errands. You know, I never knew what an errand. Yeah, but only as an adult. You know, as we grew up, and then I found myself.
Well, yeah, because when you're an adult, you have responsibilities.
I know. I found myself saying at one point that I had some errands to run, and my little cousin be like, "Why are adults always saying that?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, you're right." They were always saying that when I was a child. Now I'm saying it's like, you're going to say it too. You're going to hate your life. Yes. I'm old. Pretty much as soon as they leave, Mr. Wood jumps down off the seat, grabs Barky, the little yapper, and they just start wringing that little dog's neck.
Yeah.
You hear it's got pretty dark. His little dog's screaming.
Yeah.
It was yelping.
Upsetting.
Yeah. And nearly kills the dog. But I think both sisters end up tackling the dummy.
Yeah.
The dog runs away, and they're like, you know what? We got to get rid of this dummy right. Let's take him outside, throw him under one of those steamrollers.
Set fire to him.
Yeah. Or throw him under a steamroller, because they've made mention about how those steamrollers are going out. I was like, well, we'll throw him there. He'll get flattened by it. It's going to work out great. Then we can go on with our lives.
Yeah.
So they do that. They run outside, but only this time the dog chases after them. The dog almost gets hit by the steamroller, so they drop the dummy.
Yeah.
Save the dog. Mr. Wood cries of joy because he's free now. And he's like, oh, now I'm going to make you pay with all my powers. You're going to see what I can do. And then he didn't see that second steamroller, Nick. He gets crushed.
Yeah.
Sickening crunch.
Like Judge Doom.
Sure.
Roger Rabbit.
Okay. Oh, yeah, exactly like that then. Only he didn't, yeah.
Remember when I killed your brother? And he talked just like this?
Oh.
Marty! I'm a cartoon, Marty!
Sickening crunch, Nick. All of his magical dump... Yes. Sounded exactly like a Dorito being eaten. All of the dummy's powers could not save him
Be put back
from this fate.
Oh.
Exactly, we have a loud hiss and a cloud of eerie green gas floating up from that. The steamroller driver jumps out of the cab, ran over to the squished body, and he's like, a kid? I ran over a kid?
This is a roller coaster for like the next few paragraphs for this guy.
So, like the he goes through so much emotion.
Yes.
He's like, not another one. Oh, it's all happening again. I gotta relocate.
I gotta go to a new town with a new identity. Why? Why, God? Why?
Why are kids always running out in front of my steamroller?
Did they, or did I hunt them down? I don't know anymore. Lock me up.
I don't even know who I am anymore.
Who am I here?
And then he sees Chris and Lindy watching him. He's like,
oh, do I have to run over you guys too?
No, his friend will do that. And the third steamroller that nobody saw coming, and all of the children are dead.
The end.
Yes. The moral of this story is anybody can be buried at a construction site.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Woo! Chris and Lindy break the news to him that it was just a dummy. Yeah, it's cool. And that he can throw it out.
He can live his life guilt-free.
Yeah. It's like, except for the other people you've killed, you know. Sure. Don't worry, Steamroller Man. And then he tries to give him some lesson about, you guys shouldn't be playing out here. It's like, you thought you ran over a kid.
You ran over a kid. You're really
You should
not,
really be paying attention.
Yeah.
So, we're both at fault.
In a way, we're both right.
Yes. It's starting to rain, so they run back inside, gleeful of having done away with this evil dummy.
Yeah.
Chris sees that the rain is starting to come in through the open window that's upstairs, and she rushes over to close it when Slappy the dummy, once again just sitting by that window, grabs her arm and asks, "Hey, slave, is that other guy gone? I thought he'd never leave."
Oh my god, Slappy is alive, you guys. So shocking.
It is shocking.
Is it? She'd read the thing again in front of him.
In front of him?
Wasn't it?
No. This dummy has actually been alive since they found him, I think. Because he was like, I thought he'd never leave.
Oh.
But now I don't know. Like, Slappy seems like the weaker of the two dummies because he was letting himself just be paraded around like a dummy. He never stood up for himself. Mr. Wood was the one that caused all the trouble. So without Mr. Wood, Slappy would have never stepped up.
Yeah.
It's
better step up.
But
he needs a man.
How to set on you. So Slappy only comes into play in the last line of this book.
Yep.
Rough stuff. And now you're telling me that the cover of this book isn't even Slappy.
Well, I mean, I think retroactively it is, because obviously Slappy's in all the other ones, and
he looks the same.
Yeah.
Sure.
But, yeah. I think initially it was Mr. Wood.
Yeah.
And then they were like, no, it's Slappy now.
What did you think of this book in general then, Nick?
Not my favorite, though.
Mm-hmm.
Recapping it with you, I kind of liked it a lot more.
Oh, thank you. That's nice to hear.
Yeah, because when I was reading it, I was just like, okay, this is dumb.
Yeah.
But yeah, recapping it with you and like just discussing it made me kind of appreciate it a bit more. That I'm going to up my score by 1.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. So what score did you give it?
Initially a 2.
Oh, man.
Now it's got a 3.
Well, Nick, I'm going to tell you that recapping with you did not up my enjoyment of this book at all.
Oh, no.
It's getting a 1G splat from me.
Whoa!
Because more than half of this book was wasted time.
Yeah, but... Oh, God, you're right. I take it back. I take it back. I give it 2.
2G splats.
I forgot that. Yeah.
Yes, and then the whole thing at the end where it's like, now the story is starting with Slappy, but you fooled me this whole time.
Yeah.
I guess they didn't really fool anybody because only in retrospect is Slappy the main character of all of these dummy books. If you're just given this book, this Night of the Living Dummy, Slappy is no more important than Mr. Wood.
No, Mr. Wood is more...
Yeah, Mr. Wood is more important, actually.
Which is why I think that he's the cover character.
But knowing what we know now, and going back to this book, it's just a strange read. But I found like it was described. Things were described very well in this book. The mood was
well, like I said,
eerie.
It was the Cormac McCarthy style.
And just the bickering sisters. I liked that they were the same age. They were twins. That's what they do.
Twins.
I liked everything except for the wool that was pulled over my eyes.
Yeah.
I felt cheated. But, I mean, that comes out in my rating, which is 1G splat. Still, I'm going to tell you, I'm looking forward to the next couple books.
Because it'll be interesting to see how he evolves the character and how, what have you.
Yeah, we'll get to them as we tend to do. So, Nick, what is coming up on the next episode of Nik and Matt Get Goosebumps?
She's telling the truth, but no one believes her. The girl who cried monster. She's got the monster of all problems.
I wonder if there's a monster in this book.
I don't know. I don't think so. Because it's like there was no wolf in The Girl Who Cried Wolf.
Okay.
Until the end. And then there was, in fact, a wolf.
Well, maybe there'll at least be a girl. Probably. Nick, I'm excited to read this book and discuss this book with you. And I hope anybody out there is following along.
Is anyone following along out there?
Somebody's got to be.
I really hope so. Because otherwise, what are we doing with our lives?
Read along with us. Join the GBC.
Please read along with us. Give us some sort of validation. Make us feel like we're doing something productive with our lives and not just living out this shallow existence in the endless void of death.
Oh, God. Well, yeah, what he said. Send your thoughts to WeGotGoosebumps@gmail.com.
What is the Twitter handle, Matthew?
@WeGotGoosebumps?
Sure is.
Okay.
Like and subscribe us. Ugh.
I hate saying it. I hate saying it.
I know. I hate it too. Subscribe on the iTunes or wherever you subscribe.